Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a legend, the third series of Omega De Ville Central Tourbillon. This model, the De Ville Central Tourbillon, caliber 2600B, was launched in 2002 and built through 2006. Now, what you see right here is 38.7 millimeters in ultra white and massive platinum. It is 13.3 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug, it is 49 millimeters with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw the watch on the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it is anything but bombastic. This watch retains the handsome, compact lines of 1990s high complications rather than the oversized bloat of 2000s era tourbillons. This watch, rooted in the original Omega Central Tourbillon launched in 1994, is a glorious and graceful, high horology handmade watch from a mainstream brand, the ultimate in unusual watchmaking, and certainly a combination of finery and reliability that is unmatched. On my wrist, it wears easily. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. The combination of high horology and a mainstream brand is an unusual sort of alchemy, giving you a wonderfully serviceable watch that nevertheless gives you the same degree of hand finishing and haute horlogerie exclusivity that you would find from any watchmaker building a comparable piece, and indeed only a few dozen of these were made per year. You have a black, large rectangular scale alligator leather strap, semi-gloss, monotone stitch. You can see sheer sides cut to show you the layers of leather. There is some bolstering or stuffing of the strap as you get closer to the case, and then on the underside you can see this is a brand new Omega factory strap with cav on the bottom, a white gold twin trigger actuated deployment. You can see it features a combination of engine turning internally, and then the remainder is of high polish. Twin triggers, you press them both so it can't pop open accidentally, and then there is a minderless system, meaning you tuck the strap underneath the clasp and there's no need for strap minders, as all excess length is hidden underneath the clasp, the body of the strap, and there is nothing extraneous flapping in the breeze. The strap is substantial, like the watch itself. You can see there are these lovely stepped and sculpted lugs that add some definition to the case band and also have enormous sculptural presence in their own right. This was pulled from many mid-century Omega watch designs. If you want to see an example of one, the 2637 reference, vintage reference from the 50s, has a version of this lug profile, so Omega was drawing from its history. A little bit of a crown guard profile on a dress watch is ambitious and gives the watch a substantial presence on the wrist, but remember, you're looking at a watch that is fundamentally under 39 millimeters, so the size is excellent. It is hefty though. Platinum is impressive, and with a solid case back rather than sapphire, you do feel what you paid for right here. If you look, there's a clever trick that thins the watch visually. The bezel is first absolutely flat, and then as you draw closer to the sapphire, it has a domed profile, so the bezel doesn't appear as wide as it really is. Now, a couple of quirks with this watch: you wind it by turning the crown counterclockwise. The crown does not pull out. It is not actually used for setting the watch. Let's get the strap out of there and talk a little bit about how this watch works. It is very similar to the Audemars Piguet 2870 caliber from the Tourbillon Automatique of the 1980s, as they were designed fundamentally by the same watchmaker, Maurice Grimm. So you have a little system, a little bit like a JLC Futurematic, and you pull the crown out from the case back, and then you use that crown to set the watch. Now, what we have here are circumferential surrounds for the Central Tourbillon. You have two superimposed sapphires that wrap around the Central Tourbillon. You can see one indicates the minutes and one indicates the hour. The dial has a lovely set of black lacquered indices on top of a guilloche base with a nice rose lathe cut. And then the center surround for the tourbillon, you can see, has been micrometrically drilled. The tourbillon carriage itself is entirely hand finished, and it is both uncommon and a pleasure to find this level of attention to detail and, as I said earlier, haute horlogerie expertise and detailing. Love and attention lavished on a mainstream brand watch. You'll also note that as it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, this central tourbillon is a flying tourbillon with no upper bridge to obscure the mechanism. It is a 1-minute tourbillon, effectively acting as the seconds hand for the watch. It uses a handmade fired blue oxidized overcoil hairspring. All of this pivots on 48 joules, and it has a 45-hour automatic winding power reserve. And you can see underneath Greek god Kronos, you have the movement itself. And unlike the earliest versions of this movement, this one is not actually pivoted on the case back. It has its own conventional rotor pivot attached to the movement. So you get a very impressive watch. 30 meters water resistant, so it's not going to follow you where a Seamaster might go, but then again, it's not designed to. This is a tourbillon designed to be worn every day, no matter where you are. Save the water. This is the tourbillon that's durable enough and backed by a company with the horological chops to wear forever. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Oh, one more important detail that I almost forgot to throw in. This caliber 2600B, launched in 2002, was the first ever chronometer certified Omega De Ville Central Tourbillon. Now you know.